easy now. My name is Katnick and I'd like to give a brief explanation of how I might make an audiovisual set using Zwobot and some Electron gear. So, first of all, we load Zwobot onto a return track in Ableton. So, just click on the Zwobot app. It should open like any other VST. Then I'm going to grab some footage that I might have lying around. Let's nip into tell you what. Let's try this guy. So, when I set the beat down here to 1, Zwobot will start jumping between the footage on the beat. I'm going to link it to my external gear so that as I play it should jump between the two. I can make it a sort of easier jump using this ease in or ease out character. Then I'm going to start adding some Zwobot effects, so I'm going to go to my effects folder and let's try, I'm going to put them on different instrument tracks so that I can have different effects on different sounds. So I'm going to put Kenta on the octa track, let's have 3D on the kick, on the snare, let's go for a bit of RGB, cool. So I'm just loading up effects that come with the Zwobot software. Let's have some trails on the tom. Let's go for some VHS on the clap. And on the cowbell, let's have a bit of flux. See how that goes. On the closed hi-hat we'll stick a bit of the old, I don't know, you just kind of have to mix and match, see what happens, have a bit of fun. Let's have blur on the closed hi-hat, that'd be a bit weird. On the open hi-hat we'll have, let's go for flow, and then on the cymbals let's stick a bit of mosh. Cool, that should be good. I'm going to turn off the audio output from all of these tracks and set the input to in so that Ableton is kind of registering the thing. And we should just hear an output from the main audio out of the Digitact. So, at this point, I'm going to go into my Zwobot return track and I'm going to open up these extra options down here and I'm going to click this little C button which will kind of connect all of the plugins that I've just added. I'm going to start putting them in an order that feels nice. So I'm going to start with Flux. You can see that it's starting to affect our image. Cool. And then let's go for, I suppose, RGB, and then VHS, and then let's have some trails, and then some 3D, and then let's go for flow, and blur, and at the top we'll have mosh. So I've actually not got quite enough room for these. You can drag them around as long as you don't put them on another one that's already occupied. So let's try moving this trails back over here, we'll move the 3D down, we'll move the flow over here, and then let's bring this down a little bit, bring this down. We're going to add Keta up the top here. Cool, so these are now all connected, but we need them to be responsive. One thing we're going to do quickly is I'm going to click on the little FR down here under beat A and also under beat B, and I'm going to set these to move. Let's go for every sort of half beat. And now these should sort of move in between one another in a more pleasing fashion. Then I'm going to go to each of these sounds and I'm going to start influencing them. So let's have a bit of the open hi-hat here. Let's have a listen to what we're dealing with. So this open hi-hat sound is a bit nuts. If we click on it, we can adjust the turn off the Octatrack for a bit. We can adjust the strength by clicking on the high or the low next to the slider and bringing up this little green line, which will change the amount that it interacts with the effect in question. Although it's not actually an open hi-hat, but a closed hi-hat we're working with. So let's go to the blur, and so I can see here the blur doesn't actually have any qualities that I can attach to a sound, so I'm going to swap it out for something else. Let's go for the old let's go for fisheye, see what this does. So this should add a big old fisheye in the middle. Let's adjust some bits. No, this one also can't be adaptable. Let's try the diggy. No, you can tell because, oh yeah, this one, it's got a high and a low. So I'm clicking on the high, pushing that up a little bit, clicking on the low, pushing that up. And now if I go back to the main Zwobot, you can see when I turn all of these off by clicking on the little blue dot so that it turns red, so that I'm left with just this effect, which actually I haven't added yet. So I'm going to click on the C again, click on here, add the diggy, and now we should start to see it take effect. So not currently seeing much happening. There is a little bit of glitching going on. Let's turn up this utility I had beforehand. Oh yeah, cool, we're getting some nice little glitches in there. That's fun. Doesn't really do justice to the hi-hat, but yeah, it's there, it's pretty cool. Let's leave it for now. Let's go to the snare. So here's a snare. I've got the RGB, I'm going to turn it on by clicking on the red and turning it blue, and then I'm going to add the high and push that up a bit, and the low and push this up a bit. And now you can see the colours on the screen are going to offset the red, green and blue colours every time the snare hits, which is very pleasing. So next up, let's nip in and add some toms. That's what we're listening to. I'm going to turn on the trails effect and set the strength to high and push up that a little bit. Set the contrast is always a bit dodgy, I'm going to leave that one off. Set the flow to low, push that one up, and I'm going to just push up the gain on the utility before the effect. And now, oh, there we go, getting some weird trails every time this tom hits. How fun. So let's check out the clap. Doesn't seem like I actually have a clap on this pattern, so I'm going to go to a new pattern that's got a clap. Let's try this one out. No claps in there. Distinct lack of claps. There we go. So, I'm going to go to my clap effect, turn it on by clicking the red button, turning it blue, and now I'm going to change the distortion, the high end, so it kind of goes a bit nuts. There we go. I don't know, it's something. It's pretty cool, it's pretty glitchy, it's pretty weird. Let's go to the cowbell. No cowbell here, let's find some cowbell. Hey, just a tiny bit of cowbell. Let's make it count. So I'm going to go to my flux, turn it on. It's a bit intense, so let's see if I can control it a bit. I'm going to pull down that, pull down the speed all the way, and let's adjust the flow. I don't know. You can achieve a lot by changing the blend mode. So I'm going to change this to lighten, for instance, and that will give us a bit more sort of freedom. There we go. Then I'm going to set the high to hit whenever the cowbell hits, and also the speed, so it might do something. And let's also go for the flow adjust high. Cowbells are quite high instruments. Not really getting much. Let's play it like an instrument. It's not particularly interesting. Let's change the low down here. Just not doing enough for me. I mean, it does a little bit, kind of jibs it out. Let's push up the gain a bit and change the colour more vibrantly. Yeah, that's cool. So just by tweaking these effects and changing the amount that goes into the plugin, you can achieve some quite interesting stuff. Yeah, whatever, might work. So next up we've got the closed hi-hat. I think we already did that one. Did we already do that one? Yeah, that seems alright. Bit of glitchiness. Let's change this crash to high as well. There we go, bit more glitchiness. And then the open hi-hat, we've got flow, so let's turn that on and start adjusting the strength. So I'm going to turn up the gain a little bit. Yeah, it's not particularly obvious. Let's pull this down all the way and change that to high. I guess it just kind of blurs it a bit. Blurriness may not be what we want. Doesn't strike me as particularly interesting as an effect, so I'm going to swap that out by clicking on the Ableton swap button, going down to let's go for, I don't know, let's go for two moshes, why not? Let's get weird. Turn that on over in the Zwobot. Let's put you in here. Cool. And then go back to my open hi-hat, turn it on, and change the amount of moshing. Change all of these parameters a little bit, push up the gain a bit more. Cool, now we get this kind of data mosh effect whenever the open hi-hat hits. Let's change some more stuff about it, like the quality. Cool, it's looking good. And let's also make it a little bit brighter when it hits. Nothing drastic. I can use the low to make sure not too much comes through. Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I like it. Cool. Oh, that's way too much. I can adjust that, set it right down here. Yeah, cool. It's quite nice. Cool. So, finally we've got the cymbal, which is also a little mosh. Let's set this to high for the data mosh. Low to be the tail strength on this one. Actually high tail strength and low the amount of moshing. for low to change the quality, and the speed to be changed by high. Yeah, so just messing around with these effects, you can achieve a lot in a short period of time. Cool. That should be alright. That's pretty much all of them. All of these instruments now have different effects that will do different things to the visuals. I believe I'm missing one in the kick, which was 3D. So to make this guy alive, I'm going to just minimize my live window. And I'm going to drag over some pre-made 3D objects. Actually, I can do that all in here. So I'm going to go to my Zwobot folder, go to some pre-made 3D models, and then I can just drag those into the folder. So, with all of that said and done, one can now create a sort of live set using different instruments to create different visual effects. So let's have a listen and see what happens.